human and kind and welcoming and accepting, and have good fun, both lighthearted fun and serious fun, without and have a kind of a holiness, if you like, without invoking a deity. That you can live a wonderful moral life without having to depend on something from outside. That it's all in there if you let it be.
So I can take credit for myself?
Yeah, as I do. Absolutely.
How did Skinnamarink, that song, is that an original song?
No, I wish it were. I wish we had written it.
It sounds like something that Jimmy Durante.
No, he said, getting.
Right.
Getting.
So he didn't do any Skinnamarink? Or,
No.
He did. It was
No.
Ninky Dinky Doo. That's what I'm thinking of.
Something like that. Just before we were going to record in 1978, Lois was talking to a young cousin of hers from Chicago, who had just spent a summer at a summer camp somewhere there in the Midwest. And Lois said, "Did you learn any good songs at camp?" And Lisa said, "Well, how about this one?" And she sang Lois that song. And Lois brought it to the trio as a repertoire contender. And on the first version of it that was ever recorded, Lois sang the melody, Sharron sang the harmony, and I played the ukulele part on the guitar, and I didn't get to sing on that first recording at all. And we had a little tap dance break in that first recording. Yeah, we just played it, and we had a tap. We put plywood down on the floor, and we had a professional tap dance teacher come in and tap to one chorus of it, and her name was Shirley Temple. Now, it was not the Shirley Temple. It was not the Shirley Temple from the movies. It was a local Toronto woman, and her original name wasn't Temple. She married a guy named Temple, and so she ended up being Shirley Temple.
Which must have been a laugh for her too.
Oh, of course. And she tapped the one chorus of it, and then when we came to do our first concerts in the autumn, we thought, wouldn't that be a nice closer? And this time they let me sing. So from then on it became a trio song. And again, right from the very beginning, the very first concert we ever did ended with Skinnamarink. And every concert and every television show ever since. It's just like you fall into it, you know. You say, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And then you don't realize how good an idea it really was.
Well, because it is simple and wholesome, and it has
direct.
Well, I sign that to my children all the time. I love you, just the way you do in the song.
It's funny, you know, the deaf community people, they hate that because it doesn't conform to their
sign language.
Their sign language, and it's really a visual pun. I mean, I.
Yes.
It doesn't really make any sense.
No, it would be C, chest, you?
Something like that.
But, yeah.
So we did learn how to do it at one point, and I honestly have to say I forgot, even though I'm half member of the deaf community right now, because I've lost hearing in my right ear, and I am a client of the Canadian Hearing Society, but I don't sign.
Well, and it's still an international symbol that people will use, and you started it.
Yeah, and certainly in 3 generations of my family, it's used all the time.
Well, that I can imagine will be an anthem for generations to come.
I would like to think so. You know, when I do a solo concert, and I do them from time to time, I sing Skinnamarink twice. I open my show with it, because then they know exactly who I am and where I'm from. And I do a short version at the beginning, and then I do a fuller version, sort of a goodbye version at the end, and bookend it, and it works just fine.
Well, and also lets the audience know where. No, you said you didn't sing on the very first
The recorded version of it.
and yet your voice is quite well known.
No, just on that song,
Right.
that one song.
And so you must have done a subsequent recording.
Oh, we've done subsequent recordings of that any number of times.
Is that right?
Oh, sure. Well, we ended every episode of The Elephant Show with that song.
So then you recorded every show, or
Well, no, we
several?
used the same band track for every show. And then we had different members of the cast sing a line here and a line there and a line there, and we put it together like edited together like a jigsaw puzzle. And so every ending of every show was the same but different. It was the same song, same instrumental track, but with the voices and the image that were singing it patched together in different ways every time. So it was that nice contrast between the familiar and the novel. There was one I remember, Eric Nagler, very creative guy. We did a show once. It was digging for pirate treasure show. And part of the business that we did was there was a backhoe as part of the property for digging. And he persuaded the operator of the backhoe to teach him how to operate the thing, and he did with the backhoe, Skinnamarink-y dinky, like that. It was the fun. I didn't know what he was doing at first. I didn't get it, but he was doing the actions of Skinner with the darn backhoe.
Good for him. He's a qualified backhoe operator now.
I don't think so.
No, just for Skinnamarink
I think
performances.
so, yeah. I want to take another little break if we could.
Let's do that. We'll be right back with Bram Morrison on Mascott and Company.